What's going on, guys? It's Michael from GPURisers.com, and today I am going to go ahead and start connecting our RX 6600 XTs. Now, this is going to be probably a shorter video. I'm really just in real quick to test out and make sure that these will be able to run off of a splitter, setup like I mentioned in the other video. And just to recap, we will be using one 8-pin splitter to power 2 cards, and the second 8-pin splitting off of the cable from the EVGA power supply will be used to power their risers. So that said, I'm gonna go ahead and get 4 of these gigabytes out. I'm gonna put them right here on this table and get them all hooked up. We'll be right back in a second. All right, guys, we have all 4 of the Gigabyte 6600 XTs out. I did decide to put these on the bottom here. They are pretty low profile, almost exactly, I would say about 1 1/4 slot. So the reason why I'm putting these Gigabyte cards on the bottom row is, they cool, I think, a little bit better. They are 3-fan cards and only gonna be pulling about 70 watts. Whereas the other cards are, I believe, actually these 308s are also 3-fan. These Red Devils are higher end cards, so I feel like they'll cool just fine, but I do like to keep it kind of consistent and have the better cooling cards on the bottom, less cooling cards on the top. That way the heat can escape easier when it's on the top rather than being kind of like held right here. We do have our fans on the other side, which are blowing cool air out, so I do not believe we'll have an issue with this rig, even though we do have 12 cards. Like I said, they are only going to be pulling about 70 watts each. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up 2 first using our 8 capacitor GPURisers.com risers here. Once I have 2 of these hooked up, I'm going to go ahead and connect it to our SSD and have this thing boot up. I have this preloaded with MinerStat OS already on it. Then once I see that it's up and going, I'm going to apply the conservative overclocks to it just to make sure they work and everything's fine. And then I'm gonna add the other 2. So that said, let me go ahead and get these 2 hooked up real quick and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so I actually forgot to plug in the motherboard and the CPU and everything like that. I also connected all the fans right there that you can see are daisy chained together, connected to a Molex. I know the cable management isn't that great, but I'm gonna leave it for now. So let's go ahead and turn this on, make sure everything is working. It looks like it clicked off and it'll click back on. There we go. All right, so CPU fan's going, power supply's going. You can really feel the wall of air moving here. Those will be nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and power it down and get these risers and cards put on. All right, guys, we have it all booted up here. I have 2 of them going. You can see one of the fans is currently not going. Everything else seems to be working. I'm not sure why that other fan is not going. Let me turn this off real quick. And let me turn it back on. Okay, so it looks like that fan is working fine. It's definitely a software issue. Like I said, this is my first build with the 6600 XTs, really the whole 6000 series cards. And I noticed MinerStat has a separate download for their operating system specific for the 6000 series AMD cards. So I had the wrong one on here. It was showing up. I was having trouble, not sure what it was, but I did figure that out. So I'm gonna go ahead and unplug our SSD and reflash it with the new one, and we'll be back. All right, guys, we're back here. I have both of them on. That back fan is working. It must have been a driver / operating system issue. I reflashed it with the correct one from MinerStat. Now it seems like everything is going. Let me refresh it right here. Looks like we're getting 64 mega hash on 2 of them, which is 32 per. Which does seem in line with what these cards do get. So I do have this one actually plugged into the same PDU as the 3090 rig. I'm not going to look at the wattage pull right now. I can kind of tell from the program that they are in line, pulling about 70 watts. Once I do get all 12 cards on, I'll turn it off, see what is being pulled from this PDU, which currently has just the 3090s on it, and then turn this on, wait a couple of minutes, see what the wattage is, subtract the 3090 wattage, and then we'll see what total system wattage this rig is pulling. So that said, these are running cool. Not much heat is coming from these at all. I know it did just start. We do have that wall of fans in the back that's helping out. So I am going to get these 2 installed real quick. Right here next to them. And so let me get the risers out of here, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back. We have all 4 of these gigabytes on here. It looks like we do have this showing up in MinerStat here. I did last sync 14 seconds ago. I didn't refresh this. Now we have, you can see the fans I have pinned at 80%. The miner looks like it is still booting up on this. We'll give it some time. That said, I did want to just mention again, these 4 cards and these 4 risers are being ran off of only 2 8-pins coming from the power supply. Now they should be only pulling about 70 watts each, 140 watts plus, let's just say 10 each from the PCIe slot. That gives us still ample room for what a single 8-pin will do. And a single 8-pin is capable of doing 255 watts from the power supply, and we have our 18 AWG splitters on here, so I don't expect any issues. So this is a huge difference than, you know, a 3090 where, you know, a single 3090 is consuming about 290 watts. When you really think about how much that is, you know, like I said, each one here is 70. So we have 70, you know, 140, 210, 280 watts, you know, plus the PCIe risers not consuming a whole lot. It's very likely that 4 of these really is equal to the same wattage as a single 3090. Now a single 3090 pulls, I want to say, about 120 watts if it's not thermal throttling, which some of them are in the middle, which hopefully we fix with that case. However, each of these hash at 32. So, you know, 32 times 4 is 128 mega hash, which I don't think will have throttling issues. So in the price of these, kind of, you know, 4 of these is, you know, a little bit cheaper than what an RTX 3090 is, but you know, even with 12 of these on a rig like this, we are only going to be pulling the same amount as 3 RTX 3090s. So it kind of comes with its advantages and disadvantages. I do have a lot of space in the GPURisers mining bunker, so I may go the route where I just load up on a lot of the RX 6600 XTs. I'll have to see with availability and everything like that, but when you start getting into the dollar per hash, these do start to make sense, especially since you can power so many of them all together with, you know, single 8-pin strands, and also a 1600 watt power supply is more than enough to power, you know, 12 of these. So that said, I did just want to do, you know, a quick update on this. This video, I'm not going to put any of the other cards on. I'll go ahead and do that tomorrow. But I just wanted to show you guys that you can power it like this safely. But that said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I hope everyone watching this has a great rest of their day, and we'll see you guys next time.